Hello everyone, welcome to this interesting video tutorial on Seaborn library in Python. In today's video, we will learn how to visualize data and draw insights with different charts and graphs using the Seaborn library. These visualizations are often referred to as plots in Python. So what is Seaborn in Python? The Seaborn library in Python is a widely popular data visualization library that is commonly used for data science and machine learning tasks. It is built on top of the Matplotlib data visualization library and allows you to perform exploratory data analysis. Using Seaborn, you can create interactive plots to answer specific questions about your data. It helps you find trends in your data that you can't notice just by looking at the data. Now, to understand the Seaborn library in detail and how to create different plots and know the data better, we will be using two datasets in our demo. The first one is the empty cars dataset and the second is the popular iris flower dataset. Now let's head over to our Jupyter notebook and start with our demonstration. So I am on my Jupyter notebook. Let me go ahead and rename the notebook. I'll say Seaborn demo. We'll rename it. Alright. You can see I have the first two cells already filled in. So while working on an exploratory data analysis project using Python, you will need NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib and Seaborn libraries for data manipulation and visualization. So let's import these libraries first. So I've already written import NumPy as NP, Pandas as PD, Matplotlib.pyplot as PLT, Seaborn as SNS. Alright, so I'll hit Shift Enter to run this first cell. Alright, now using the read_CSV function that is present in the Pandas library, I am importing my dataset, that is empty cars. I'll tell you what empty cars is about. This is a CSV dataset and here I have given the location where my dataset is present. Let's run it. Alright. Now let me go ahead and print the first 5 rows of my empty cars data frame. For that I'm using the head function. If I run it, okay, you can see here it has given me the first 5 rows. The index starts from 0 till 4, so total 5 rows of information, and you can see these are the columns that are present in the empty cars dataset. The first is the model of the car. Now just let me give you a background about this dataset. So the data is taken from the 1974 Motor Trend US magazine. It has information about fuel consumption and 11 different aspects of automobile design and performance of 32 cars. Alright, so here we have the first column as the model of the car, and then we have MPG, which is miles per gallon. Then we have CYL, which stands for the number of cylinders in the vehicle or the car. Then we have DISP, which is displacement in cubic inches. So these all values are in cubic inches. After that we have HP, which is gross horsepower. Then we have something called as DRAT, which is basically the rear axle ratio. Then we have WT, which is the weight of the car in pounds. So think of it as weight multiplied by 1000 pounds. Alright, and then we have Cusec, which is 1/4 mile time. This is a measure for acceleration. Then we have something called as VS. This is the type of engine for each of the vehicles. So 0 stands for V-shaped engine and 1 stands for straight engine. Then we have AM, which is basically the mode of transmission. So 0 is for automatic transmission and 1 is for manual transmission. Then we have the number of forward gears present in the vehicle, and then we have something called as CARB or CARB. This stands for the number of carburetors. So carburetors is a device for supplying a spark ignition engine with a mixture of fuel and air. Alright, now we'll use the info function to print the summary of the data frame. So the info function returns information regarding the index data type, column data types, then we have the information about non-null values and memory usage. So I'll write my data frame name, which is empty cars dot, I'm going to use the info function. Let's run it, and here you can see we have all the columns. There are total 32 entries from 0 to 31, so data about 32 cars. Then here you can see the data types and the memory usage. Now moving ahead, let me just print the shape of the data frame. That will give you the number of rows and columns present. I'll use the shape attribute. You can see here there are total 32 rows and 12 columns in my data set. Now the Seaborn library provides a range of plotting functions that makes the visualization and analysis of data easier. So we'll cover some of the crucial plots that are available in Seaborn. So let's start with a bar plot. I'll give a comment as bar plot. Now first understand what a bar plot is. So a bar plot gives an estimate of the central tendency of a numeric variable with the height of each rectangle. It provides some indication of the uncertainty around the estimate using error bars. Now to build this plot, you usually choose a categorical column in the x-axis and a numeric column on the y-axis. So we'll create a bar plot between the number of cylinders and the miles per gallon. So let's start. I'll declare a variable called res, which essentially stands for result. Then I'll use SNS, which is for the Seaborn library. I'll say SNS dot followed by my bar plot function, and inside the function I'll pass in my data frame name, that is empty cars, and then for x-axis within the bracket using quotation I'll give my column name as cylinder. So this is going to be my x-axis, and for y-axis I'll say my data frame name empty cars, then the square bracket followed by my y-axis column, that is miles per gallon. Now to display, I'm going to use the matplotlib function. I'll say plt.show. Let's run it and we'll see the result. There you go. So here you can see on the x-axis we have the number of cylinders. So in our data we have vehicles with 4, 6 or 8 cylinders, and on the y-axis you can see the miles per gallon. Now what essentially this graph tells us is that when the number of cylinders in the vehicle increases, my miles per gallon on MPG for the vehicles decreases. And you can see these black lines. So these lines indicate the uncertainty around the estimate using error bars. Alright. Now you can create the same bar plot using another way. Now we will exclusively define the x and y axis columns and also pass the name of the data frame using the data argument. Let me show you how to do it. I'll use the same variable name res, which stands for result. I'll say sns dot bar plot. Now inside the bar plot function I'm going to exclusively define my x axis. I'll say x equal to, I'll pass in my column as cylinder, then I'll say y axis, which is miles per gallon, and then using the data attribute I'll pass in my data frame name, that is empty cars, and finally we'll write plt.show. Let me run it. You see here we have the exact same bar plot as the above one. So this is another way to create a bar plot. Now Python Seaborn allows the users to assign colors to the bars. So the bar chart that we are going to create will convert all the bars to a particular color. So for that I am going to use the color argument. So I'll say res equal to sns dot my function, that is bar plot. I'll say x equal to cylinder. My y-axis will have mpg, and then I'll say data is empty cars, give a comma, and my final attribute I'll say color equal to, I'll say yellow. Close the bracket, and then I'm going to write plt.show. If I run it, you can see here all the bars have been converted to yellow color now. You can change the color argument. Let's say I'll make it to red. If I print it, you can see here all the bars have been changed to red color now. Alright. Now Seaborn library also has the palette argument, which you can use to give different colors to the bars. So if you go to Google and search for Seaborn palette, you have a nice link here. So here you have, there are different palettes provided by Seaborn. You can see here sns.color palette, and these are the names of the palette. You can use whichever palette you want. Alright, so I'll say res equal to sns.barplot. We'll use our first method of assigning a bar plot. So I'm using my data frame empty cars, and this time we are going to change the x and y labels. Let's say I'm using my x label as transmission, whether automatic or manual transmission, and then in my y axis I'll have miles per gallon. Then I'm going to say palette equal to, I made a spelling mistake here. Let's say our palette is set2. This is the name of the palette. I'll write plt.show. If I run it, you can see here we have the two modes of transmission. 0 is for automatic transmission of the vehicle, 1 is for manual transmission, and you can see the miles per gallon for each of the modes of transmission. If you want, you can change the palette colors. Let me just copy this. I'll paste it in my new cell, and instead of set2, let's say we'll use another palette called as rocket, and I'm also going to alter my x and y labels. Let's say in my x label I'll have gear, and my y label will be horsepower. If I run it, you see here we now have a different palette and the bars are of different colors. On the x-axis you have the gears, 3 gear, 4 gear or 5 gear vehicle, and on the y-axis you have the horsepower. So from the graph you can see the horsepower is low for vehicles that have 4 gears, while it is high for the vehicles that have 5 gears. Now let's understand how to create a count plot. So the count plot function in the Python Seaborn library returns the count of total values for each category using bars. We will create a count plot that returns the total number of vehicles for each category of cylinders. I'll just give a comment here as count plot. Alright, so I'll start I'll use the count plot function, and I'll define my x-axis as cylinders. My y-axis won't have any label or any column because y-axis will only show the count. Then I'm going to use my data parameter or the argument and pass in my data frame name, that is empty cars. let's say I'll set the palette to set 1. Let me run it. Okay, there is some error. Let's debug the error. It says str object has no attribute get. Okay, so this should be without the single quotes. Make sure the data frame name is without the single quotes. Let's run it again. There you go. So you can see here, this is a nice count plot that shows the number of cylinders on the x-axis, and on the y-axis you have the count. You can see here there are more number of vehicles that have 8 cylinders, and there are less number of vehicles or cars that have 6 cylinders. And actually you can count it as well. So you can see here there are 14 cars that have 8 cylinders, there are 11 cars that have 4 cylinders, and there are 7 cars that have 6 cylinders. Alright. Now moving ahead, the next count plot will show the number of cars for each carburetor. So for that I'm going to say SNS dot count plot. My x-axis will now have the variable carburetor. I'll say data equal to empty cars, and my palette I'll set it to set 1, or let's say set 2. Now let me run it. You can see it here. On the x-axis we have the different number of carburetors, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 and 8, and you can see we have more number of cars that have 2 and 4 carburetors, and there are very few vehicles that have 6 and 8 carburetor. Cool. Now moving ahead, so the Python Seaborn library allows you to create horizontal count plots where the feature column is on the y-axis and the count is on the x-axis. Let me show you how to create a horizontal count plot. I'll say SNS dot count plot. I'm going to define my y label or the y-axis as gear. I'll say data equal to empty cars, and set my palette to, let's say, rocket. Let me run it. Okay, you see here this is a horizontal count plot. If you compare it with the above one, these were all vertical count plot, as in the bars were vertically aligned, but here you can see the bars are all horizontally aligned, and on the y-axis you have the gear column, and on the x-axis you have the count. So if you mark here properly, you can see there are 15 vehicles with 3 gears, there are 12 vehicles that have 4 gears, and there are total 5 vehicles with 5 gear. Now you can also create a grouped count plot using the hue parameter. So the hue parameter accepts the column name for color encoding. Now let's build a count plot that shows the number of cars for each category of gears grouped by the number of cylinders. So we are going to group based on the number of cylinders. Let me show you how to use the hue parameter for that. I'll say SNS dot count plot. In the x-axis I'll have my gear column. Then I am going to pass my hue parameter that will have the cylinder column or the number of cylinders for each vehicle. I'll pass my data frame using the data argument as empty cars, and say palette. I'll set my palette to set 1. Let's run it. If I scroll down, you see here we have a count plot. On the x-axis you have 3, 4 and 5 gears of the different vehicles, and for each gear you have the bars that represent the number of cylinders. So for vehicles that have 3 gears, we have majority of the vehicles having 8 cylinders. Similarly, for vehicles that have 4 gears, we have most of the vehicles with 4 cylinders. And if you compare for the cars that have 5 gears, so we have equal number of vehicles that have 4 and 8 cylinders, and then we have one vehicle that has 6 cylinders. Cool. Now moving ahead, so the Seaborn library supports the distplot function that creates the distribution of any continuous data. Let's create the distribution of miles per gallon of the different vehicles or the cars. The MPG matrix measures the total distance the car can travel per gallon of fuel. So here I'll give a comment as distplot, which stands for distribution plot. I'll say SNS dot distplot. I'll pass in my data frame name, that is empty cars, give a period and say MPG, which is my column name. Then I'm going to define the number of bins that I want, let's say 10, and then I'll use the color argument and I'll say, let's say G, which is for green. Let's run it now. There you go. If I scroll down, you can see we have a nice distribution plot. So these are all histograms, and you can see we have a smoothed curve, and this shows the distribution of miles per gallon that is present in our dataset. Alright, now moving ahead, you can also create heat maps using the Seaborn library. So the heat maps will let you visualize matrix-like data. The values of the variables are contained in a matrix and are represented as colors. You can create a correlation heat map, which is a graphical representation of a correlation matrix representing the correlation between different variables. So in our example, we will create a heat map where you can find the correlation between each variable in the empty cars dataset. I'll just give a comment as heat map. I'll say SNS and I'll use the heat map function. I'll pass in my data frame name, that is empty cars, followed by my function called CORR, which is for correlation. Then I'll say C bar is equal to true. So the C bar argument is used to draw the color bar. Then I'll say line widths, I'll pass it as 0.5. Let's run it. There you go. Here you can see we have a nice heat map, and on the right side you can see the color bar that starts from minus 0.8 and goes up to plus 0.8. So this ranges between -1 and +1, and the bars or the cube, you can say, that have a lighter color have a positive correlation, and the ones that are dark have a negative correlation. So for example, you can see here for cylinder and MPG, the color is really dark, which is around this region, -0.8. This means when the number of cylinders in the car increases, your miles per gallon decreases. And this we also had seen in our first bar plot, this one. You can see here, whenever the number of cylinders increased, your miles per gallon had decreased. And this is what has been depicted in our correlation map or the heat map. But if you see for cylinder and displacement, there is a positive correlation which comes around this color bar range. Similarly, there are other features in the dataset. For example, if you compare for the weight of the vehicle and the number of cylinders, there is a positive correlation, which means when the weight of the vehicle increases, the number of cylinders present in the vehicle also increases. And the others you can also compare and find out the correlation based on this color bar.
Choose from over 300 in-demand skills and get access to 1,000 plus hours of video content for free. Visit SkillUp by Simplilearn. Click on the link in the description to know more.
Okay, now let's move ahead. The Seaborn scatterplot function helps you create plots that can draw relationships between two continuous variables. So to understand about scatter plots and other plotting functions, henceforth we are going to use IRIS-Flower dataset. So let's go ahead and load the IRIS-Flower dataset. I'll say iris equal to sns dot load underscore dataset. So this IRIS-Flower dataset is already inbuilt into the SNS or the Seaborn library. Now we'll go ahead and print the first 5 rows from the dataset. There you go. Here you can see here there are total 4 feature variables. You have the sepal length, sepal width, petal length and petal width of the 3 species of flower, that is Setosa, Virginica and versicolor. So using this dataset we are going to see the rest of the Seaborn plotting functions. First let me go ahead and print the different species of flower and the count for each of the species of flowers that we have in our dataset. I'll say iris, within square brackets I'll pass in the output or the target variable, that is species, and I'll use the function that is value underscore counts. Let's run it. There you go. So we have 50 flowers of Setosa type, again 50 flowers of versicolor species, and then we have another 50 flowers of type Virginica. So there are total 150 flowers present in our dataset. Alright. Now we'll create a scatter plot to show the relationship between sepal length and petal length for different species of iris flowers. So I'll say SNS dot followed by the scatterplot function. In the x-axis I'll say sepal length column, give a comma, I'll pass in my y-axis with petal length, then I'll say data equal to iris. Now let's run it. You can see here this is my scatter plot between sepal length and petal length. Now you can classify the different species of flowers using the hue parameter as species in the function. So what I'll do is I'm going to copy my above code, I'll just paste it here, and we are going to edit in this cell itself. I'll add a last parameter called hue, and this will have my species column. Let's run it and see the difference. There you go. Here you can see we have a nice scatter plot. The blue dots are for Setosa, the orange dots are for versicolor, and for Virginica you have the green dots. From this scatter plot you can see that for Virginica flowers the sepal length and the petal length are higher than your versicolor and Setosa, and this region is completely for Setosa flowers. So you can say that the Setosa flowers have lower sepal length and petal length. Alright, you can also use another parameter known as the size that will differentiate the different species of flower in terms of the size of the dots. I'll say size as species. Let's run it. You can see the result. There you go. So here you can see the Virginica flowers are in green dots. The size is small, followed by versicolor with medium sized dots, and then we have setosa whose size is large. Okay. Now the Python Seaborn library lets you visualize data using pair plots that produces a matrix of relationship between each variable in the dataset. So let me show you how to create a pair plot. I'll say SNS dot pair plot, which is the function. Then I'll pass in my data frame name, that is iris. I'll put this iris data frame within double quotes and we'll run it. Okay, there is some error here. Let's debug the error. Data must be pandas data frame. Okay, what I'll do is I'll just remove the double quotes and we'll run it. This might take some time to create the pair plot, so just wait for a while. There you go. Here you can see we have a nice pair plot. On the y-axis you have the sepal length, sepal width, petal length and petal width. Similarly on the x-axis also you have the same feature columns. All the diagonal plots are histograms and the rest of the plots are scatter plots. Now you can convert the diagonal visuals to KDE or kernel density estimation plots and the rest of the scatter plots using the hue parameter. This makes the pair plot easier to classify each type of flower. So I'll just copy this cell of code, paste it here, and I'll say hue equal to species. Then I'll say palette equal to set1. Let's run it and we'll see the new pair plot now. This might take some time. There you go. So here you have the pair plot ready, and on the right side you can see the different species. The red color dots represent setosa flowers, the blue color dots represent versicolor, and the green color dots represent virginica flowers. Now if you look at this graph, you will find that your petal length is the best feature to classify the three different species of flowers. The reason being, you can see here they are very well categorized and they are separated. All the red dots present here in the petal length represent setosa flowers. Around this range, all the blue dots represent versicolor flowers and the green dots are all virginica flowers. So out of the four features, petal width, petal length, sepal width and sepal length, you can take petal length as the best feature to differentiate between the three species of flowers. Alright, now coming to lmplot function. So the lmplot function in the Seaborn library draws a linear relationship as determined through regression for continuous variables. So let's create the plot to show the relationship between petal length and petal width of the different species of iris flowers. I'll just give a comment here as lmplot. I'll say SNS dot lmplot. In the x-axis we'll have petal length, give a comma. In the y-axis I'll pass in petal width and I'll pass in my data frame using the data argument or parameter, which is iris. Let's run it. You can see it here. We have a nice plot. The line you see here is a linear regression line. Now in this lmplot you can use the hue parameter to differentiate between each species of flowers, and you can set markers for different species. Let me show you how to do it. I'll say SNS dot lmplot. We'll say X as our petal length, give a comma. I'll write Y as petal width. Then I'm going to pass the hue parameter. In hue, I'll say my column as species. Then I'll give data equal to my dataset name, that is iris. And now you can pass in markers argument to differentiate the different types of flowers. Let's say I want to represent setosa with dot or O. Then my next species, which is versicolor, should be represented with a star symbol, and the final virginica species of flowers should be represented with, let's say, this arrow mark. Now let me go ahead and run it. There you go. You have three different linear regression lines, and the circle dots in blue color represent setosa, the orange color stars represent versicolor flowers, and the triangles represent virginica flowers. So this is how you create a linear relationship between the different types of flowers using the regression line. Alright, now let's take a look at the final plotting function, where we will create a box plot. A box plot, also known as a box and whisker plot, depicts the distribution of quantitative data. The box represents the quartiles of the dataset. The whiskers show the rest of the distribution except for the outliers. Now let's see the distribution of the three species of flowers based on their sepal width. I just give a comment as box plot. Is the final plot that we are going to see in our Seaborn demo. I'll say SNS dot box plot. In the x-axis we'll have the species column. In the y-axis we'll have sepal width. Then I'll pass my data as iris. Let's run it. There you go. We have this box plot created. At the bottom in the x-axis you can see we have the box plot for setosa flowers, orange for versicolor flowers, and green for virginica flowers. Now this line represents median, which is inside the box. So this is also the median for versicolor flowers. You can compare the median sepal width for each of the flowers from the y-axis. This line represents the maximum sepal width value for setosa flower, and this line at the bottom represents the minimum length of the sepal width for setosa flowers. Now these dots that you see outside the box plot are called as outliers. The extended lines that are outside the box plot are known as whiskers. Alright, so that brings us to the end of this demo session on Seaborn library in Python. So first we imported our empty cast dataset. Then we saw how to create a bar plot. We learned how to use the color argument or the parameter inside bar plot. We also saw how to use the palette attribute or the palette parameter. Then we learned about creating count plots. Then we saw how to create horizontal count plot. Now moving ahead, we saw how to create distribution plot. Then we saw a correlation heat map. After that, we analyzed the other functions such as the scatter plot, then we had the pair plot, and we had the LM plot for finding the linear relationship, and later we saw the box plot using the iris flower dataset. So that brings us to the end of this video tutorial on Seaborn library in Python. I hope it was useful and informative. If you have any queries, then please feel free to put them in the comment section of the video. Thank you for watching and keep learning.
Hi there, if you like this video, subscribe to the Simplilearn YouTube channel and click here to watch similar videos. To nerd up and get certified, click here.